All right, everyone. It is now the middle of March. We've got new acquisitions. We've got contract talks. We have nagging injuries. We have the sound of human blood pressure rising with false hope and agony, which only means one thing. Mets baseball is back. Welcome to the Mets Weekly Roundtable.
This is Frank Cugino from Frank About Sports.
What's going on, guys? Andrew Acevedo back.
What's going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden is the name.
What is going on, everybody? This is Metsfan from YouTube.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm TonyMetro.
Big Apple Banter Media here with the Leaders. That's weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Mets Weekly.
Welcome to Mets Weekly. All right. Andrew Acevedo, you can introduce yourself.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, I've been mostly hopping on other people's streams. Usually if somebody fires a stream up, usually if it's Frank or friend of the channel, I talk. But I've done some streams about the Bassitt move. I didn't do an Ottavino video. I just didn't think it was that worth to sit down and do it. But I'm working on something, a big project. Hopefully I can get it out by mid-April. So that's kind of work involving some minor league baseball. So that's kind of where most of my content is leaning, barring the Mets make some more moves or some other big blockbuster MLB trade with more Mets implications.
All right, Frank About Sports.
Yeah, Frank About Sports. I've been trying to react as much as I can to whether it's the Mets signings or any other big signings around baseball, whether it's Chris Bryant or somebody like that, and just things like that. Maybe some potential moves the Mets could look at if they don't do anything else in the next couple of days, because as we're going to get to, the team still isn't complete. So maybe just breakdowns and things like that. But definitely back to get to the old grind since we finally got some moves are allowed to happen with this dumb lockout over. So I'm excited.
All right, last but not least, Mets Talk with Hayden.
What's going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden is the name. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I've been doing a couple stuff on the channel recently. Did a live stream today. I did a video on Ottavino as well as Chris Bassitt. So definitely please feel free and check it out. Be very much appreciated. Obviously, super glad spring training's happening. I will be going to Port St. Lucie tomorrow, and I will be watching the scrimmage game as well as, just watch some, the younger guys play and, of course, the major league guys play. So super pumped for that. I'll definitely be sharing some of my adventures with, the guys on here and, of course, Twitter. Otherwise, LFGM.
All right. Well, before we get into it, you guys know the drill. Make sure to like the stream. Also subscribe to the Mets Weekly channel. Turn on those post notifications to remind you whenever we go live every Thursday night at 7 Eastern time so you can join the conversation. Also follow us on Twitter. Join our Discord. We want as many Mets fans in there as possible as baseball is back and running. Make sure to follow all 6 of us, even though there's 4 right here on Twitter. Also subscribe to all 6 of us individually, even though there's 4 right here. The links are all in the description. And also, if you guys have a question that you'd like to ask the roundtable, make sure to leave it in the chat, and we will be sure to pin it and answer it throughout tonight's show. So let's get into the top story. Saturday, the Mets acquired Chris Bassitt in exchange for prospects J.T. Ginn and Adam Ottavino. Now, J.T. Ginn was the Mets' second-round pick in 2020, coming off of Tommy John surgery, and he made his debut in St. Lucie, pitching a total of 92 innings in 2021. Adam Ottavino was the Pirates' 20th-round pick in the 2016 MLB draft. He was cut in 2018, had a short stint with the Giants, and the Mets picked him up in the Rule 5 draft in 2019. And coming off of a breakout season in AAA, where he pitched 120 innings in 2021. Now, at age 33, Bassitt is coming off an all-star caliber season, entering the last year of arbitration. Bassitt joins the Mets rotation as the number 3 behind Jake and Max. So for those who don't really know much about Chris Bassitt, I feel sorry for you. But let's talk about what to expect. What should be the expectations for Chris Bassitt going into 2022? I'm going to start with Mets Talk with Hayden.
Yeah, obviously pitching depth was obviously something that the Mets really did need going into the season. Obviously not so much performance with some of these players, but with health being the number one thing. And I think Bassitt Has a track record of being healthy, from what I've seen for the most part and what I've heard. I can't really recollect many times where he was, injured or, hurt for quite a while with the A's, or his, small stint with the White Sox. But I didn't know he was in the league that long. I believe he's been in the league for 6-7 years. I thought he was, 2018, 2019 type of guy. But, obviously he didn't start his prime and, his pattern of success until, just 2019, 2020. But, I think it's a really good move. What you gave up, like you said, you gave up Aller and Jin. It's not like you gave, any guys that are in the top 100. So it's really, I don't want to say, a low-risk move. I mean, unless in 5 years from now, Jin and Aller get called up for the A's and they're Rookie of the Year and Cy Young. But as of right now, it seems like a low-risk move. I'm all for it. Pitching was something that the Mets needed. I maybe would have rather them have gone after a lefty because I definitely do value, having a lefty in the rotation. But you know what? Bassitt, I think it's a solid fit for the Mets. He seems to like it here so far. In terms of expectations, like I said, go out there, be a solid number 3 starter. Give me 6-7 innings of solid baseball. Go and give me 25 to 30 games. Stay healthy. Those are my big expectations for Bassitt. I mean, I'm not asking him to be, a Cy Young or All-Star, but, finish with adequate numbers, being a casual, sub-3 ERA, I guess, for a third starter.
All right. Andrew, Chris Bassitt, what are the expectations?
I mean, he's the Marcus Stroman replacement, and if he can give us the production of Stroman, yes, probably he's gonna have a little bit higher ERA. Again, my thing, keep it sub-3. Give me 6 innings every start. Give me a quality start. Give me 180 innings. That's all I'm kind of looking for. Be that quality number 3. Again, I think you have said it that you're getting number 2 type stuff as your number 3. Obviously an All-Star last year, had a really good first half. Obviously got struck in the face, missed about 6 starts from that. Easily could have gotten over 180 innings if he got those 6 starts back. So for me, just kind of again opposite all these moves that Epdog has done post lockout have filled holes. So we'll get to the familiar replacement. This is just kind of be the Marcus Stroman replacement. Just take the ball every 5th day, give me a quality start, and at the end of the year, if you got the sub-3 ERA or sub-3.5 ERA, as long as we need someone in this rotation to eat some innings, and I think that's the role he's going to fill. At least 6-7 innings, 5 to 6-7 innings to start. He keeps you in the ball game, and then just take the mound every 5th day, I guess.
All right, Frank, what should be the expectations for Bassitt?
Well, Buck Showalter was able to simplify the way he would approach the way players should play, as far as his motivational saying is play better. Well, mine's very similar. It's don't suck. I mean, that's kind of my hope for Chris Bassitt is just don't be bad. Don't be a guy who the Mets bring in over trade, similar to Carlos Carrasco, and the guy doesn't pitch what you hope. So I just want him to be what he was in Oakland. We don't need him to be anything crazy since he's following up deGrom and Scherzer. We don't need him to be an ace. If he gives me, if we go traditional numbers, ERA low 3s, like everyone said, more innings the merrier. But the good thing is that he was healthy for the most part in 2020. 2021, excuse me. But he had some injury history, way back when. But the past few years, he's been pretty good. He's been able to stay on the mound. So he just needs to keep that up. And like you're saying, he's the Marcus Stroman replacement. But I think he's even more than that. Scherzer was the Stroman replacement. This is just something extra. I mean, is he the Noah Syndergaard replacement? Kind of. I mean, Noah Syndergaard didn't really pitch, so he's just another guy to have. It's just someone to slot everybody down, like we've said, and it's good they did it because we find out right away, boom, Taijuan Walker, knee procedure. So you just never know what's going to happen with the rest of these guys. So having another guy who's reliable, that you trust, it's not a one-year wonder, not a guy that finished the year hurt, things like that. He was the right fit. He makes so much sense for this team, and I'm really glad they were able to pick him up. And it came out of nowhere, which is the typical Mets style lately. I mean, that's the way it seems to happen. We didn't hear anything about the Mets talking to the A's. We heard the Mets talking about Tyler Mahle. We heard the Mets doing that. But then all of a sudden, oh, boom, they got Chris Bassitt. Like, what? Oh, okay, fine. I'll take that. So sneaky Epdog. I like it. The Mets are always lurking, so you always got to keep an eye out on them.
Yeah, I mean, I have a connection to Oakland, obviously. For those of you who don't know, my dad's an A's fan. And I can honestly say that Chris Bassitt is not a number 3 starter. This man pitches like a number 2 starter on a regular basis, and he does have the potential to be an ace. Here's what you can expect from Bassitt. Now, this is a guy, this is a workhorse right here, all right? His versatility, the ability to mix his pitches, this is what stretches him to be a 6 to 7 inning guy consistently. sinker, four-seam, cutter, changeup, slider, curveball. This, his slider is so dangerous. He's got 40 plus inches of vertical drop, 2,300 to 2,500 RPM looking at that. I mean, and that's not even his best pitch. I'm not going to spoil my video any more than I already have. But Chris Bassitt is so good. He's one of my favorite pitchers in baseball. I'm so happy that the Mets got him. And the fact that he's the number 3, he can pitch like a number 2, and he could possibly be a number 1 one day. And I'd love to see what Hefner does with him. And to be honest, side note to John Fisher, sell the team, you fucking loser. Seriously, A's fans really deserve better. You're a complete coward. Anyways, any extra things that we can add on Bassitt, either way, we can move on.
It seems like Epler likes guys that their slider drops. I mean, between Bassitt, Ottavino, Shreve, maybe Tony Watson next, he likes those sliders that drop. So hopefully
he likes soft contact. That's what he likes.
Yeah, limiting barrels, which I get.
And there's nothing
that
better
makes
than
sense. You just got to put trust in your defense. And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than adding another all-star. Gotta love them all-star games.
Yeah. Got another all-star. I mean,
that would be the show for sure, but
absolutely.
I listen, would you rather have? Would you rather have a team that's a bunch of all-stars or a team that's a bunch of good baseball savant pages?
All-star.
Well, we have both. And Taijuan Walker.
And Taijuan Walker exists, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's tough. It's either one or the other sometimes, but that's how it goes.
I mean, the Dodgers have good savant page team, and they're pretty good.
That's just an echo of their amazing player development. That's the thing. It's just you look at that lineup now that they've added Freddie Freeman. I mean, most of that lineup is from their incredible player development. So
yeah, and more coming.
And when you talk about the difference between their development and our development, look at Justin Turner, who's been such a big part of the Dodgers' success forever. Mets weren't able to develop him. He goes to Los Angeles. All of a sudden, the guy's a really good player. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, awesome.
We got to build a better lab. That's all that's got to happen. That's what we're looking at. But anyway, moving on to another edition. Sunday, the following day after they traded for Bassitt, the Mets also added to their bullpen by signing veteran reliever Adam Ottavino to a 1-year, $4 million deal. Ottavino is 36, and he's coming off a little bit of a rough season in Boston where he pitched to a 4.21 ERA because that's all that matters to you mouth-breathing sheep. After being dealt to the Yankees last offseason. With the losses of Loop, Familia, etc., the Mets bullpen has become a very dynamic question mark. You can't lie. But how much better did the Mets bullpen improve with this addition? I'm going to go right back to Frank About Sports.
Oh, boy, go to the fireworks early. Well, the bigger addition was Jeurys Familia going to the Phillies than it was the Mets acquiring Adam Ottavino. Let's get that out the way. That was the big improvement. But, I mean, at the time, I was kind of like, all right, Mets got Ottavino. But I'll tell you what, as the week has gone on and all these other relievers have come off the board, guys that are better than Adam Ottavino, making barely a little more, whether you're looking at Andrew Chafin, you're looking at Ryan Tepera, you're looking at a Colin McHugh, all these other guys that are signing – a little more than Ottavino. I'm like, why did we get Adam Ottavino if we could have got these guys instead? So he'll help because it's better than nothing. It's better than a minor league reliever. But I just think that what I don't like about Adam Ottavino is you have too many of these same kind of pitchers that they come into the game, and if they don't have it, you're screwed. You already have that Miguel Castro. Now you've added Ottavino. Every now and then Edwin Diaz has those days where you're like, oh, Diaz doesn't got it. We're in trouble. That's why I prefer the McHugh. I prefer the Tepera. The guys that they come in, they're solid. They might not have as good stuff, but they're a little more consistent. I mean, because Ottavino can have really good games. He strikes out the side, looks phenomenal, but then he has games where he walks the whole ballpark. So I just think it was a little too risky. I think if you already have a couple guys like that in your pen already, I wouldn't go that route. But, I mean, he's here, so got to live with it.
All right. Hayden, how much did this bullpen improve?
Yeah, I mean, I really like what you said there, Frank. That's what I was kind of thinking before. But obviously, to add on to that, I mean, there's really not much to say about it. It's a small end move. When it comes to relievers, I don't like to put in so much thought on what we can get out of them and what we will not get out of them. Relievers are so streaky. It's a short-term deal, $4 million. It's really not a hit or a miss. Like I said, I would have much rather the Mets go after a lefty. I think that was the big thing. The Mets need some type of remedy to make up for that left-handed presence that's missing in the bullpen. So that's what I would have rather go after. But hey, listen, Ottavino, solid pitcher. Yeah, I get it. He didn't have his best time with Boston, but he has a fair track record with Colorado and the Yankees. So hopefully we'll see some of that production. Nice sinker-slider combination. He doesn't give up hard contacts. He limits barrels. So, that's going to be something, hopefully, that he can continue to have success with. As to quote, what did he say? Like, the better way. What did he was like with the winning New York team or something like that? But, yeah, overall, I like I said, is it like, oh, the Mets bullpen is elite now that you added this guy? No. I would have much rather go after a Colin McHugh, or obviously an Andrew Chafin, but obviously that window it has passed. So I'll take Ottavino. It's better than half of these schmucks that we've seen in the past.
Jeff Hartliebs. If you guys want to list some awesome relievers that we've had, especially in 2021, we had a lot of them. Yeah. Andrew, the pen.
The arm barn. Yeah, it's a lateral move, like everybody said. It's the replacement for Familia, and you got a little bit older Familia, but a little bit better overall stuff. Obviously, the slider. I mean, this guy's slider breaks like 16, 17 inches off, and it's a beautiful thing. I know everybody's complaining about it, but I do like what F-Dog is doing. You do not give multi-year deals to bullpen arms. That's why Chipera and McHugh are not here. You find guys like Aaron Loop. You get him for 1 year, $3 million. You find the next one. And that's what I hope the Mets are going to do. Ottavino isn't that. Obviously, Ottavino, a more veteran, proven arm, whose probably best days are behind him, but still brings something to this bullpen. And yes, Frank put it in the group chat. He's really good against left-handed pitching. If, in the case, they don't get a lefty, well, obviously, I think they'll still try to add a lefty. They've started to, we'll talk about the situation later. But again, has good numbers versus left-handed pitching. Do you like having a righty versus left-handed? Of course not. But at least they're coming with options. But my thing, I've said it over multiple again. I do not give multi-year deals to relievers. If it's a 1+1, I don't give hard years over 1 year deals to bullpen arms. You can find those. You can find guys like the Mets found with Loop last year. You can find those guys. The Mets in the past, Addison Reeds. They've been able to find bullpen arms on 1 year cheap deals. So I get, yes, McHugh's better. Ryan Tepera was I liked Ryan Tepera. I would have loved Ryan Tepera on the Mets, but the multi-year deal, no thanks. I liked when he went cheap and he went on 1 year deals. Keep trying to find these again. Make arm, and maybe hey, you drafted a bunch of kind of bullpen / starters in this year's draft. Let them, let's see. They go 1 year deals with the vets to give time to some of these arms that you keep drafting to keep developing, so you don't have to go out and give $7 million to Ryan Tepera, or you don't have to go with 10. Give these big contracts to relievers because this again, it takes time for this farm system to get. Everyone thinks, oh, right away the farm system is going to be great. It takes time. The Dodgers suck. Look at the Dodgers when they changed ownership. It took them 4 years just to get to what they are now. So it doesn't just happen overnight because Steve's here. So, again, take the 1 year deals. Try to keep finding those 1 year wonders. You get the results. They get paid elsewhere. And hopefully then you start developing more bullpen arms so you don't have to go out in the free agent market to sign bullpen arms.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there. I mean, you're saying multi-year deals, but we're not talking about 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. We're talking about 2 year deals. I mean, we're talking about 1 extra year. So you'd rather have the worst player because you don't want to pay another year for a guy that's better.
Yeah, because guess what? He has a bad year, you're stuck with him again next year. With relievers, they're so up and down. I'd rather take the lower risk with the higher reward than the guy who has the great year last year that could fall off the face of the earth this year. So I'm taking that's me. I'm not going to take the risk of like give an extra year. Guarantee yourself $5 million where you could put it for somebody. Let's say he has a bad year this year and it's a 1 year deal. You wipe your hands, you find the next one, or you develop the next one. Because if a 2 year deal, as much as it's $1 million for McHugh, I know McHugh is the biggest example. The Mets, you should have jumped on McHugh. I'm not saying you're not wrong, but they're saying, you know what? Hey, McHugh had a great year last year. He's probably not doing that again outside of Tampa Bay. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. But don't we know what Ottavino is at this? I mean, he's at this stage of his career. We know what we're getting with Adam Ottavino. Yeah. We don't know what we're getting in Ryan Tepera. We don't know what we're getting in Colin McHugh. I think it's worth giving those guys a chance because, again, that style. we just know what's going to happen with Ottavino. I mean, we've seen this story way too many times. A guy that age, he's only getting worse. He's at a high risk for injury. So I'm looking at the other guys, but I mean that's just me, and that's why he's not an Aaron Loop replacement, because Loop was 32 in the Mets, signed him 33. He wasn't really a guy that everybody knew what he was. People know what Ottavino is, so I don't think Ottavino is a Loop. And is Tony Watson a Loop? Maybe, but they haven't signed him either. So
we'll get to the lefty stuff later. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little later. I have a
all right.
idea
Just
what
getting
the Mets
off
are trying to
topic
do.
for a second.
What do you got?
Holy shit!
wow.
Anyways,
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. There you go.
anyways,
Somebody's gonna be
I
jacked
told
up to
you he was
host the
a
rest of the
Raider.
night.
I told you he was a Raider. I'm sorry.
You said everybody.
I
Move
already
on.
told you
Let's
he was
get
a
back to
Raider.
reality here. Come on.
So pretty much
Anyways,
fans don't want to necessarily kill themselves now. Good for them.
anyways,
Let's see
Well,
what we gave up.
I guess you could say.
All right, yeah, you talk about Ottavino, then we'll figure out the details.
give me a second. Okay. Anyways, again, I'm gonna keep it brief because I want to leave the video to speak for itself. But y'all are really sleeping on this Mets bullpen. I ain't gonna lie, man. I mean, is it elite? Not really. But it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it may not have the flashy names or all the good MLB The Show cards, but they got all quality arms. All these arms are a plus. Now, I do want the depth to be deeper than it is, but let's not act like Jeremy Hefner isn't the best pitching coach in the game. So I personally want to see how it looks in spring training and then go on from there. This whole panic button mentality, I'm telling you, it's really exhausting. I'm not going to lie. It's a 162 game season. Relax, Mets fans. That's all I have to say. But other than that, Devontae Adams is a Raider. Anyways.
For 5 years.
Good. Give him 8. All right. Anything else we want to add on the bullpen? Other than that, we'll get to the best pitcher in baseball.
Hey, let's go, Jake.
All right. Let's get to Jake. Okay. The best pitcher in the stratosphere, Jacob deGrom, said that the plan is to exercise his 2023 opt-out. That's a weird year to say in his contract. But he's expressed that he wants to be a Met and he wants to be in consistent contact with the team about his future. Now, if you don't remember, Jacob deGrom did sign a 5-year, $137 million extension before the 2019 season. Thank you, David Wright, by the way. But since then, deGrom has established himself as the clear best pitcher in baseball and the messiah among men. But this was obviously expected that he would opt out, especially after Scherzer, what he got. But how should the Mets address this decision going forward? How should the Mets approach deGrom's future with the Mets? I'm going to start with Andrew Acevedo.
You let him win the Cy Young this year. Don't worry a damn minute. And then first day of free agency, you say, "Hey, what's the number? Go test the market. Go see what you can get elsewhere. Come back to me, and I'll add $10 million." Steve Cohen be like, "I'll add $15 million to whatever you got." That's what they're gonna do. Jake's gonna pitch this year. Jake's gonna win if he stays healthy, probably be in Cy Young candidate. If I'm Steve, go see the market. Go see what you're worth because you've earned that right. You got a team-friendly extension last year. You've earned your right. Go see what you can get out on the open market, and then come back to us, and we will make it better. That's what Steve's going to do. So there should not be a big distraction, nor should Mets fans be shocked by this. With the price of what Bauer went for, what the price of Scherzer went for, there should have been no surprise at all that Jake was going to opt out. And it's the best business decision for Jake. So again, there should not be a worry this year. Let him go win the Cy Young. And then once that offseason hits, we'll see what Boris. I think he's a Boris guy. He left CAA. Where's he with now?
I don't think he's the
still
board.
It's not.
He's not
Boris.
Boris. He left CAA. I know he
Yeah.
did leave CAA. He joined like some. He left CAA because we made a big deal about Brody. But besides the point, whatever it is, let him go find an offer. Go see what the Dodgers and the Yankees are paying him, and then come back to Steve, and Steve will be like, "Okay, here's $15 million more." Like, I'm not worried one bit that Jake's leaving. Steve is not going to let him leave. So again, play this as he's got a 10-year deal because he's not going anywhere. There's no need to worry. Let him go win another Cy Young, and then he'll go make $60 million. Still give him $60 million AAV next year. I am not worried one bit.
Whew. Okay. Hayden, how should the Mets address this going forward?
Yeah, well, obviously, I think it's no secret that deGrom wants a better contract. I mean, the Mets bring in Max Scherzer, and Scherzer, who was, 37, 38. The fact is that he's making more money than Hall of Fame. Well, I think both of the guys are Hall of Famers, but the fact is Scherzer is 37, 38, whatever, and he's making more money than a guy who is 30, 33, 32, and is on pace to be what Scherzer is and arguably could even be better. So it's no secret that deGrom wants more money. He wants a better contract, and I don't disagree with him on that. I think he's really just opting out just so he can get more money. It's not that, he's opting out because he doesn't like the ownership, he doesn't like the team, he wants to change the scenery. No, he just wants more money. So what's going to happen is, because deGrom has always said, I've heard a million times deGrom say, it's so cool how guys like David Wright spend their whole entire career with the team, or how he loves New York, yada yada yada. So I'm not worried about him leaving. He just wants more money. He wants a new contract. He wants more money, maybe even years. I don't think it's that. I think it's just more the AAV. And yeah, like I said, I'm not worried. I really think he likes it here. He has a lot of future here, a lot of talent. Yeah.
All right, Frank, how should the Mets approach this situation?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I mean, this really is. I mean, is Jacob deGrom good? Do you want him to be a Met for life? Do you like Jacob deGrom? I don't know. They really got to sit and think about this one. But I mean, like I said, as long as he gets through the year healthy, that's my only concern. If deGrom is healthy, I know he's going to pitch good. I know he's worth the money as long as he's healthy. Because I said we saw a whole lot last year, a million different injuries, but we'll see what happens this year. And the payroll, I know Steve Cohen doesn't care about money, but it's gonna be pretty intense. You're gonna have two pitchers making over $40 million. You're gonna have Lindor making his 30-something million, and you're gonna have Marte making what he's making. We know Nimmo wants a new contract. Eventually, got to give Alonso a new contract. So all of a sudden, it looks like the Mets are going to be in those higher tiers of luxury tax year in, year out. But that's what you sign up for when you're the richest owner in baseball. Dodgers do it every year. So I mean, the Mets are going to be in the same spot.
Yeah, I think patience is something that should be considered. But I'm gonna offer a different alternative. Okay. There is no one I trust more than Jacob deGrom. Our trainers are from ISIS. Sandy is about a catheter incident away from a nursing home. If deGrom says he's healthy, he's healthy. Anything that Jacob deGrom wants, he gets. I really don't care. You go up to him right now and you say, Jake, here's a blank check. Fill it out. It's all yours. You want $50 million a year? It's yours. You want 15% stake in the team? It's yours. Whatever it takes. Jacob deGrom is the best player this franchise has ever seen. Yes, I said it. He has gone places nobody has gone before in 150 plus years of baseball. If Jacob deGrom is not a Met for the rest of his career, I will never forgive this franchise. And I don't really care if they were eventually to get Juan Soto or get Bryce Harper or Shohei Ohtani. This man needs to be here for his entire career, and he is the number one reason why I want this team to win it all. Jake, we love you. Blank check. It's all yours. I don't care, whatever it takes. Anyways, anything we want to add on Jacob deGrom's future here?
I mean, Hayden, go.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say there is one thing. I know that he did say something. It was like, obviously, once the contract, once he opts out, he would like to be in consistent talks constantly with the Mets. So yeah, guys, You're just wanting money. In my opinion, I think it's stupid. He can't just do it during the season. But hey, you know what? I think it's a little bit of everyone. He doesn't want to have that on his back during the season. I don't think Cohen and them are. I mean, I think Cohen and Alderson and Eppler would be willing to give him, money and a contract during the season. I just don't think players don't like to have that stuff throughout them during the season. Like you saw with Lindor, we're going to see it with Judge this season. They don't like to have the contract negotiations during the year. So it makes sense. And I think now, it's their focus isn't that. They have so much other stuff right now.
Well, that and they can't get the AAV. If he doesn't opt out, he can't. It would just be an extension to paying him until he's 48 or whatever if they want to give him the extension. So he has to opt out to get the payday. But part of me in my darkest heart, I want him to blow out his UCL so he doesn't. So he just sticks into his contract, blows out his ACL, UCL, misses the season. Mets miss the playoffs, and he doesn't opt out. So you don't got to pay him for 2 more years. But, obviously I don't care. But that's just my dark. Hey, why am I going to pay him 40 when we're paying him 32 next year? Like, we got to be,
calm down.
We got to be like, we can't go. We're not even over the 4th tax yet. So we don't even know if we're going over the 4th tax. So
well, apparently, I mean, since we're getting, who will be over the tax once we get him. I mean, if you're going to go, that tax. That's the guy you do it for. No questions asked. Don't do it for Correa. Don't do it for.
Do it for that guy. 100%. You got to bring back Conforto.
I mean,
yeah.
So, I mean, hey, we got to keep extra $8 million. You got to think with your head.
What the fuck did you just say?
You got to think $8 million bucks. That's 8 to potentially, 12 to 15 more million attached to a deGrom. You got to be financially flexible. Come on.
There'll be no flexibility with this team. They're always going to be.
No, if he doesn't opt, we need him not to opt out because we just keep his number at what it is. So blow out your ECL. Don't come bitch injured. Have the surgery. Don't opt out. You're guaranteed another $60 million, and the Mets don't have to give you a raise.
Cruel.
Obviously, give him
Chat,
$50 million.
let us know. Do you guys want us to start recording these so we can cut some stuff out?
Well, nah.
Just a suggestion, guys. Okay.
There you go. Hey, not over that.
Anyways,
come
on. I'll talk to you later. I know. Okay. There's another Raider fan in this house, so I apologize. Okay. Anyways, according to Pat Ragazzo, Taijuan Walker reportedly underwent knee surgery in mid-January. The expectation is he will probably be held back a little bit compared to the rest of the Mets pitching staff. Now, Walker had his fair share of injuries in his major league career so far. And after pitching 159 innings last year, Walker's health has always been a concern. So, you know what? How much of a concern is this step back? How should we look at this? I'm going to start with Mets Talk with Hayden.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously is pretty unfortunate when you hear Walker also getting injured. I mean, he's coming off of a season where this was his first time in, 3-4 years where he pitched a full season. His time with Toronto and Seattle, he really had a lot of injuries. He dealt with a lot of injuries there. Like I said, with the lockout, we had no idea what was going on. I mean, we just recently came out with the Tatis injury, with the Walker injury. We had no idea with half of this stuff. I believe he got his surgery in January, so I definitely think, a fair amount of time has passed. Like I said, he's only like a week behind on fundamentals, I guess, to compare to deGrom or Scherzer or Lugo or whoever. So I'm not that worried. Worst case, he misses one start. It's not the end of the world. You have a lot of depth. So, that one start against whether he'd probably be a 4-starter. So whoever the second series is against, I think it's against Philly, I believe, or something like that. So maybe he misses that start, not the end of the world. But, I do get a little bit worried because, the innings pitched, I think, is going to be a little, a bit of an issue for him this upcoming season. So that is one thing. And then when we're starting off saying he's going to miss a start possibly or two, I get a little worried. But fingers crossed he could recover fine. I will say he definitely did gain a little bit of weight. So that's my little concern there. I saw he looked a little bit chunkier when walking into Port St. Lucie this week. So I don't know. I mean, if we're going to worry about anything, I'd rather worry on the weight than the surgery out of his leg.
I'm seeing some glances get tossed around right now. Well, okay. Anyways, who did I miss?
Both of it. You got
there's
either
two
one.
people left? Okay.
You got two people. You are so screwed in the head right now. Jesus, you want me to host?
Oh, God.
You want Frank? You want to host? You want me to host?
Okay. Devontae. Okay. Andrew, go ahead.
I mean, his arm is made of pastrami. Now his knee is made of bologna. His fastball's a meatball. Now he's getting fat. I mean, Jesus. Like, Taijuan, what's going on, my guy? Again, it's a setback. Obviously, it's eating your pitching depth. Right now, he's the 5, in my opinion. You got Tyler McGill. You've got David Pete. You've got a little bit of depth. But then potentially if you take David Peterson and make him a lefty in your bullpen, that eats into your depth. So obviously now you're really eating into your pitching depth, which you obviously got guys like Yamamoto, you've got Josh Walker, unproven. But like you need to get maybe this incentivized. I don't think the Mets are going to make another big move. I mean, again, I would still be calling Cincinnati and say, you want a bag of peanuts for Tyler Malley? Who else you firing off? I mean, Mike Minor, you just got him. We'll take him. $10 million. We'll take him off your hands. But again, it's how much of a concern is a setback? I mean, a guy who's historically has dealt with injuries, again, little bugaboo. He's a week behind, supposedly. So, again, will he miss a start? Hey, that's where your Seiler or McGill can get a couple of spot starts. So, there you go. I mean, obviously, again, pitching and starting pitching is most important in baseball. You want to have depth. Now, if I'm the Mets, I'm jumping to see who's left, and I can get on a one cheap year minor league deal with potentially major spring training invites to try to get some more depth in Syracuse. But again, it hurts, but I think he'll have another pastrami sandwich and he'll be fine.
All right, Frank, how much of a concern is this set?
It was a pretty big concern at first, but then the next day when the Mets were doing their bullpens and Walker was a part of it, I felt better just knowing that the guy is still kind of pitching, because if he was sitting there doing nothing, then he really would fall even further behind the pitchers. And then you kind of get concerned, is his arm going to be able to build up and things like that? But as of right now, I'm not too concerned. But what I will say is that if at some point this year he does sustain a major injury, and this was a knee, so at least it wasn't an arm or elbow, anything like that. We saw Luke have an elbow procedure done. I wouldn't be surprised. So the Mets have got to keep that in mind. Like, for a fact, you have a guy in your rotation that has a very big injury history. So like Andrew said, whoever it is, if they want to get another guy, if they want to do a, dare I say, 6-man rotation, I don't know how many times we have to say that, probably a million more. It's much worth considering. As much as I would love Tyler Malley, I feel like he's going to cost a whole lot prospect-wise. We just gave up JT again, so that was a nice piece that you don't have in trade conversations anymore. But as of right now, I'm not too concerned, but he does worry me going forward that, at any time this guy could sustain a big injury, because you were able to get him through 162 season last year, which was the first time he did that since 2017. He was healthy in 2020, but that was a 60-game season, so you can't put too much stock. The last time this guy got through full 162 was 2017. So you know what you're getting yourself into when you have Walker on your team. He could give you some results, but he will give you some injury concerns for sure.
Okay, well,
we have the farm system for Castillo, but if we do it, we have no farm system left. That's the problem. We can do it, but we
that damn Barrios trade sets the benchmark, and I'm not doing that. Nope.
Exactly.
Not unless this team goes out like 06 and is just beating the hell out of everybody at the deadline. You want to make that trade? Okay. But no.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I think if you Taijuan Walker, it's a major concern, to be honest, considering that this is the first time we were hearing about this. Walker's a big guy, and Injuries are fairly common. Like, again, the truth is he's the 5-starter. He's literally the 5-starter. He overperformed in the first half, and he's a 5-starter. So not all results mean sustainability. Okay. I'm just tired of the question marks. Tyler McGill's better, so who cares? No, but hopefully that he is healthy, because it'd be nice to do a 6-man rotation. It would be nice to have a little bit more flexibility with that and kind of just be able to play through deGrom and Scherzer and say, okay, well, 5 days have passed. Do you want to skip this guy's start and you go out to the mound? Like, be able to, do that type of thing. But, a lot of pitchers have to be healthy to do that. So we saw the Brewers do that, and they kept their starters healthy that entire year. Other aspects of their team was not the best, and they couldn't really go all the way. But this is a very expensive team. So maybe you can, adopt some other things. And if you adopt the 6-man rotation, maybe Mr. Stearns might see it and is like, hey, they're learning. Maybe I'll come over to Queens. Why not? But other than that, I mean, if you want to add anything on Taijuan Walker, I'm going to get into some viewer questions as well to split into some of our topics to get the chat involved a little bit. But other than that, anything else on Taijuan Walker? No? All right.
Too much of a bomb.
Now, this is a good one. What is the biggest worry for the Mets this year? Themselves. Frank, biggest worry?
My biggest worry is Francisco Lindor. I think that they invested so much into him. Obviously, we know what happened last year, but I'd say he just cannot get off to a start like he did last year. Because if he does, with the way his mental makeup is, I don't think he can come back from it. I don't want to put too much stock into this, but when they showed that video this morning of Jacob deGrom facing these guys, Lindor looked so lost. His swing path, his form, it just didn't look encouraging. He just did not get off any good swings at all. And he's like, no big deal. I struck out. He just looks like the same guy to me. I just see like ground ball to the right side. Like that's literally what I see from his swing from the left side. And even the game before that, when they had the intra-squad game, nothing. So I don't want to put too much stock into it. But if he's just getting paid too much to have another year like he did. Again, we haven't seen him doing it in a Mets uniform. And one thing I was thinking about is kind of Lindor related, but in 2020, we saw a lot of guys have bad seasons hitter-wise. And we say, you know what? These are good players. Don't put too much stock into it. Cody Bellinger, Christian Yelich, Francisco Lindor. Don't put too much stock into it. Then 2021 came along, and those guys still didn't hit well. So now all of a sudden, when you really think about it, you're looking at it's been a while since Lindor has been that guy he was 2018, first half of 2019 on offense. And, I mean, he's just going to be so important. If Lindor can be what he's capable of, this team is, definitely a playoff team. If he's not, if he gets hurt again, I'm kind of concerned.
Okay. Frank, I'll ask you one question here. Who is he facing?
I've seen plenty of guys tee off the ground. And when you're getting paid that much, at least be competent. At least be competitive. He was gone 2 pitches.
Okay, so
But when you watch his swing, do you see like a good swing?
Do you ever see a good swing against deGrom?
No, I'm just saying his swing and jump from the left side. It doesn't look the same. He's pulling like a madman. He has the uppercut of.
Wait, are you telling me that the right-handed Lindor propaganda needs to be pushed?
We all knew this, though. You're acting like this is new information. The guy is a much more natural, pure hitter from the right side. He is just pull happy from that left side, and it's tough to watch. It really is.
Yeah, especially when you've peaked the way he has. So, yeah. Andrew, biggest worry?
Again, I said it themselves. The Mets are always Met. Until proven otherwise, the biggest obstacle for the Mets is themselves. Until this, Lowell Mets, didn't leave last year. Biggest obstacle himself. Oh, we got this great, rotation. Pete's gonna hit 50 bombs. Lindor about to spot, and then Pete hits 30 and then goes into Eugenio Suarez mode. Hits his 30 homers, hits 200. Then deGrom's elbow falls off. Scherzer, his eyeball falls out. The biggest obstacle for the Mets is themselves, and I'm worried the Mets are going to be the Mets and be the Mets. So, again, we could pick, the bullpen. You can pick that. It's the Mets. That's their biggest enemy is themselves. That's what I'm worried about.
Okay. My biggest worry, I'd say, is James McCann, because if he's an all-star this year, I'm going to be fucking tortured. And it's going to happen because I've spoken things into existence way too many times.
Yes, sir. McCann bounce back.
That's tough. Okay.
Well, Hayden wants to talk.
But I think overall it's the health. That's just overall, because we saw 64 players be used last year. Hayden, biggest worry?
I'm still sticking with it. Hitting with runners in scoring position and being clutch. Like I said, so many times last year, and even in 2020, where we saw a game, 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position, 7 guys left on base, no more. The Mets need to be able to have a different type of hitting mentality. We need to see more fundamental hitting. Luckily, we have an extra table setter on this team and Starling Marte to accompany Brandon Nimmo. I want the Mets to be able to drive in runners, be clutch. No more mercy rules. If you're at 10 runs, go to 20. And when you're down by 4 runs, be able to hit with runners in scoring position. So many times last year, and I think McNeil definitely being injured or not being himself was a big thing, because McNeil is like that. McNeil is a guy who you'll give him an 0-2 count and he'll get a base hit following that. So, I think McNeil being, not himself last year was a big thing, because McNeil, in my opinion, is very good when it comes to changing the count and, trying to be clutch. So hopefully, being clutch will be something big for the Mets. You have some new bats, so fingers crossed. Being clutch, hitting with runners in scoring position, that's the big thing for me.
All right. I don't know why this was added. It's just to troll me. But McCann or Carrasco will have a better year. Carrasco, moving on. Who plays center field, Mo or Marte? This is something we haven't really talked about, because we've kind of just talked about how they've kind of just have that versatility where all 3 outfielders can play all outfield positions, if they need to. Andrew, who gets center field?
That guy. Marte's already hurt. That guy plays center. That's it.
Yeah. That's it. All right. Frank, who gets center field?
Again, I thought it was going to be Marte, but the way Nimmo I'm telling you, he's becoming heel Nimmo. All of a sudden, he wants his contract. He's not smiling as much. He wants to play center field. Oh, how could Starling Marte play over me? What is this? So my question is that, let's just say, because Nimmo wants to play center field, he'll switch to Boris. That was the moment Brandon Nimmo turned heel. He was like that. That was the turn when he had Scott Boras as his agent, because Boras turns you into a bad guy. We'll talk about the other bad guy later on.
Maybe.
But what I want is that, let's just say the Mets accommodates Brando. So, you know what? You want to play center field so bad, we'll put you in center field. Would Starling Marte be like, oh, wait, no, I want to play center field? Is this going to be a thing? Is this going to be like a closer role situation where it's like, oh, come on now, Brandon. What happened to the nice guy, Mr. Smile, Mr. Team Player? Go to left field and do your job. Don't worry about who's playing center. You're both in the outfield, fool. Marte's the guy that's more proven. He's the guy making all the money right now. Let Marte start off in center field, and then when Marte gets older, then you slide over. It's easy. I don't know why Nimmo has to make this a thing. You don't see Marte saying anything, but Nimmo, all of a sudden, now he's becoming a bad guy. You got to watch out for him.
Because this man's about to have an MVP season. He's pissed off. No more babyface. He went full heel.
Hell yeah. He ain't gonna sign for you anymore.
Exactly. He's already blown me off a couple times. So yeah.
Anyways,
Hayden.
Elias. Nimmo or Marte, who gets center field?
Oh, geez, well, quite the timing. I'll say Marte. I know Nimmo's been getting a whole lot of reps out there. I think what I've kind of always thought about from a health perspective, just to keep Nimmo healthier. It'd be good to have a corner. I think you don't need to go get a defensive only fourth outfielder like a Juan McGarvey we had in the past. If Marte goes down, you shift Nimmo over to center. But I think they paid him all that money to be the starting center fielder.
All right. Hayden, even though I just cut you off with Elias.
No.
Nimmo or Marte?
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, I say let him battle it out during spring training. You know, if Nimmo really wants to play center field so bad, you know, and if he doesn't want to play left, I don't really think he has the range or the arm to play right. So it's either left or center. And if Nimmo really wants to play center field that bad, let him battle it out during spring training. Let him make some nice grabs. Let him, you know, patrol the center field grass properly. If he's able to play on the warning track and be able to come in and get a ball, that's a nice blooper, in shallow center. Then I would say let him fight for it. I think as of right now, yes, you brought in Marte, you gave him that 4-year contract so he could play center field. Maybe what I'm thinking is you put Marte in center for 2 years, 2 years older, will be 35, 36. Then you could put Nimmo in following his last 2 years of the contract. So I think something like that could work. But right now, I would love to see Nimmo in center. But like I said, battle it out during spring training.
Don't forget, too, Marte played left back in Pittsburgh when they had McCutcheon. So he has experience there.
I think does he have experience? Yeah, he has like balanced experience in all the.
Yeah, no, he played there he was up when McCutcheon was there for a while. I think he won a Gold Glove in left field. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Did he?
I think he won.
Put him there.
Or in center.
Because
I like what Hayden. Like you can have him in center for 2 years and then switch him out. Or if Nimmo is just that much better in center field, then put him there.
Yeah, my choice is Nimmo because Nimmo's the better player. The better player goes into center field. Usually the better player goes to right field, but that's out of this equation. The thing is that Marte's legs are made of gelatin. Okay. And we have to protect him. We have to put him in bubble wrap. He's probably going to have to be the DH. Nick Plummer's already better than him. And, I think it's Nimmo. I think Nimmo's are in that spot. I think Marte's just there because, he just wanted to hang out, be a good clubhouse guy. But other than that, anyways, Elias, if you want to do a intro to your whole thing, if you'd like.
Yeah, Big Apple Banter Media. I just uploaded my first podcast episode, and who knows how long. So appreciate if you guys check that out. Drop any questions or anything in the comments below. I'll hope to answer them in the next episode. And also, congrats, my man Metsfan. You guys got Devontae Adams. It's a damn shame he's still going to be last place team, but that's besides the point.
Well, one player makes a team. That's what I've heard.
Oh, yeah,
so
of course,
there you go. Anyways, we'll go to one more question here from the viewers, and then we'll get back into our regularly scheduled program. Who should be the 5 starter? McGill, Peterson, or Carrasco? Is Carrasco going to be the 4, I guess, technically? Or
yeah,
Walker's on the bigger contract, so I'm assuming he's sliding in there. And he played more last year.
Their contract's almost identical.
I think it's going to be a battle for 4 and 5.
Actually, I think Carrasco's making more.
But he's got 1 more year left.
No, Walker's got him. But he's
Walker's got the years after, though.
Yeah.
I think Walker's getting 8 this year.
But he's got 2 more years after.
But he's got like some other bonuses and stuff.
He's got a player option next year, right?
All right, he's picking that up.
I don't know. So the 5, I guess it'd go to Carrasco, right? I mean,
unless
right?
one of McGill has just an insanely good spring training, even Peterson, I think it would. He could.
I'd probably say Carrasco. I mean, like I've said in the past, put Peterson and McGill in the bullpen. Let them develop like the Brewers did with Burns and Woodruff. Let them develop more. Get their innings pitched up. Because, both of those guys don't have many innings pitched in the minor leagues. So let them get used to pitching at the major league level. Work stuff mechanically with Jeremy Hefner. Get their innings pitched up. And you have Carrasco in that 5th spot. For whatever reason, if Carrasco doesn't work out, whatever, he has his first inning complexities or whatever the reason is, you have other guys too. I mean, you don't just have McGill and Peterson. Yeah, maybe, Yamamoto and Williams may not be as good, but also keep in mind, we're going to have doubleheaders. we're also gonna have double headers this season. I mean, we have 7 already planned right now. We're probably gonna at least have a dozen just because rain delays and whatever delays. So we're gonna need a lot of depth. So I mean, as of right, I say Carrasco would be the best bet.
Yeah, we do forget about Trevor Williams too. Trevor Williams is a pretty solid arm too.
He's pretty decent. He can come out of the bullpen too.
I'd say McGill gets it, but if Walker's obligated to be in the starting rotation as the number 4, then Carrasco's got to be there too, right? So it's like,
I think Carrasco's the 4.
Yeah,
and
Carrasco,
then maybe it's like in between Walker, Peterson, McGill.
Carrasco, I mean, if he pitches like the 3 he was brought in to be, that's good in the 4. So it's like, if they want to go 6-man rotation, they can go 6-man rotation, like you said.
And Carrasco got a procedure done also in the offseason, didn't he?
Elbow. Yeah.
He also had that delayed start with the hamstring. So I mean, I hope so. I really hope that we can get. He doesn't have to be who he was at Cleveland, but at least be close to it, because the guy we saw was not the guy in Cleveland.
No.
Yeah. The thing is that like these guys with all these like secret surgeries. I mean, where's Jeff Wilpon to deny these? I mean, we're like, this is ridiculous. These guys are being selfish. Anyways, moving on to again the regularly scheduled program. After Aaron Loop signed with the Angels, the Mets lost the only premier lefty from their 2021 bullpen, with replacement options going off the board recently. The southpaw quadratic of Flushing looks like it will continue to proceed. That's a video that I will be making this year. I'm really excited for that, so stay tuned. Anyways, but the Mets did bring in Alex Claudio. They brought in Mike Montgomery and our old pal Jason Shreve yesterday, but the lefty depth is still thin. Joey Lucchesi, obviously coming off of Tommy John surgery, he will probably not be back until later this year, or maybe not return at all. So how should the Mets address this lefty shortage? We'll call it a lefty shortage. We'll start with Mets talk with Hayden. Lefty shortage for the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it a million times in my streams that the Mets really, listen, like I say, relievers are streaky, but they really lost something when it came to Loop, because now you have to find some type of remedy to make up for that left-handed presence. You didn't just lose Loop, you also lost Rich Hill. I honestly would have been for giving Rich Hill, a 1 or 2 year deal. I get it. He can only give you 3 innings, so he doesn't have to be a starter. Put him in the bullpen. Let him be a long reliever. That's what I would have liked out of Rich Hill. But, hey, he's with Boston, so the best of luck with him there. Right now, I mean, are you going to be making a trade in the market for a guy like Rogers? I mean, Andrew Chafin, I see you guys are saying. I would have liked Chafin. The Mets need some type of lefty because, in that rotation, you don't have any lefties. And I value a left-handed pitcher in the rotation because there's always teams out there that will always have bad numbers against left-handed pitchers. The Mets in 2021. So there's always teams out there. So I would like a left-handed presence in the rotation, and of course a ton in the bullpen. So I guess as of right now, you're putting David Peterson in that bullpen role like stated before. So that's a left-handed presence. But otherwise, that's it. That's the only guy you really have healthy. I mean, so unless they're going to go to the trade market, call Minnesota and try to get Rogers or something like that. I don't know. I mean, maybe if there's anyone in spring training that stands out, that's a lefty, you could bring them up. I mean, I don't know how many guys on the 40-man are, lefties, but we're going to have to see. They're going to have to make some moves because we saw a lot of times last year where that whole lefty on righty stuff was very big for us. And listen, it's important. I think like I said, there's batters that struggle against lefties and have much lower numbers, and same thing for righties. So we'll see. I guess Rogers could be a fair pick. I don't know.
All right. Elias, how should they address the lefty shortage in Queens, New York?
Yeah, for starters, I wasn't crazy about Schulter's comment about, well, we have plenty of guys who pitch from the right-hand side who can get lefties out. That's great. They're going to have to get lefties out at some point, but that that old school, that lefty specialist guys, something I really covet. Guys we've had in the past, Jerry Blevins, even Justin Wilson last year, and Loop of the world, who can get those lefties out is something super important, especially in this division when you got guys like Juan Soto, Bryce Harper, probably the two best left-handed hitters in baseball, if I'm forgetting anyone. Obviously, Freddie's out of the Say it again?
You got Matt Olson now.
Yeah, and I was going to say Freddie's out of the division, but Matt Olson is not far behind, if at all. So it's a tough division for left-handed hitters. So getting a guy who could get those lefties out was something super important. It doesn't really look like there's anybody necessarily available on the free agent market. Like Hayden mentioned, trade market, Taylor Rogers, but it looks like the Twins are sort of going for it. I don't know if they want to trade Taylor Rogers, and also I kind of have PTSD from trading for relievers, and we don't have really the prospects to give it up. So I think Peterson slides into that bullpen. As a lefty, he's probably more of a long guy though, not that one inning lefty specialist. We brought back Chase and Shreve. I was cool with that. Wasn't a fan of letting him go back in. I think he got non-tendered, I believe, before last season. I thought he was a pretty solid player until they kind of started overusing him. So I think was it a minor league deal that he got? Yeah, so he'll probably make the club on that deal. But guys like Montgomery, I mean, it's interesting to see for spring training, but I'd rather have that guarantee. But right now, I think Shreve, Peterson are your lefties in the bullpen. I would have just loved to have that more solidified guy that what you're getting from the left-hand side.
All right, Frank about sports. Lefty shortage. How do they address this?
If we're going based off what the Mets have been doing recently and the guys they've been signing, Tony Watson technically fits what they're looking for. Guy that limits barrels, good against lefties, has a lot of movement on his pitches. He's up there in age, but so is Adam Ottavino. So obviously that's not going to, deter the Mets. I imagine Watson's only getting a 1-year deal. We're not allowed to sign any reliever more than 1 year. That's also another dog law when it comes to signing relief pitchers. But as far as the trade market, I know, Carson, you've mentioned AJ Puck. I mean, he'd be great, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Oakland's ready to do that just yet. They're going to be probably closer until he's free agency eligible. Rogers, no. Suter from Milwaukee, maybe. And honestly, I'm looking at the Tampa Bay's roster. I'll take any of these guys. I'll take Yarbrough. I'll take Colin Poosh. I'll take Fleming. Whoever they want to give up, I'll take them because that's what we did with Aaron Loop. He came from Tampa. He turned out to be great. Andrew said, find next Aaron Loop. Give me anybody from that Tampa Bay roster. They're willing to trade. They're willing to listen. That's where we got Rich Hill from. So give Tampa Bay a call. They're willing to trade anybody. They're willing to listen on anybody. I'll take anyone from there. That's always my go-to answer with anything. Just get someone from the Rays. GM, Rays. Pitcher, Rays. I don't care. Anything from that organization, I'm all for.
All right. Andrew, Steeman.
Yeah, a little bit.
Lefty shortage.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to stay within. Maybe they sign a Watson or a Andrew Miller. Again, that's a name I haven't really heard much because as a semi-Cardinal fan, I saw him pitch last year. He still can get lefties out. There's no problem with him getting lefties out, but do not let him pitch against a right-handed hitter because he's getting absolutely destroyed last year. At least last year. It was for at least last year. He got his lefties out, but you left him with the 3-batter minimum rule, and he didn't get the lefty out, and he had to face a righty. It was damage incoming.
Is that still in play? Is the 3-batter rule still a thing?
I think so.
That's like the one
they didn't take it out.
Shreve? You're talking about Shreve with right-handed hitters?
I don't know.
No, does this new CBA have the 3-batter minimum rule?
They never said anything about that.
Chat, if you know, let me know. Because I'm actually really curious about this.
I think
they're leaving it
still.
as is.
Yeah, they're leaving. I think they're leaving it in there. So
If they're,
I mean,
if
that
they're
could-
limiting
yeah.
mound,
Yeah.
they're probably doing that.
So that could be against what's it called? But of course, Frank has to spoil everything I do, and that's why when I even text him, "No, Frank, go first." No, he's gonna ruin it again. Again, I'm calling Oakland. Give me light Josh Hader. Go get me AJ Puck. Like if y'all screaming for Josh Hader, which he doesn't really he fills a need, but he doesn't really fill a need because Hader's gonna go to the closer. Now you don't have your Loogie in for like the 7th inning when Soto's up. You're not gonna use Hader in the 6th or 7th, so it doesn't really it gets you the closure you want, but it doesn't really fill the need this team needs right now. Which again, a Chafin or which I was Chafin on, but Watson and Miller will do that role. Go call Oakland. I don't care. I mean, it shouldn't cost much because they're literally giving away their best players for a bag of peanuts. So I think they'll give a Puck for a peanut. So if they want a JD Davis, see ya. You want a Dom Smith? Goodbye. You want some bum and low A ball? Take them. I need Jeremy Hefner to get his hands on AJ Puck. because you want to talk about limiting barrels. AJ Puck's the king of it. I think it was 70. What's the exact number? But over 70. Oh,
171.
71 batted balls. You know how many barrels AJ Puck has given up in his career? One. So, yeah, that's a stat. Pull it up, Metsfan. This old man don't believe me.
But
He's limited one
ERA
barrel.
last year.
Oh, God. The ERA. Oh, my God. FIP of 3, by the way. So, again,
Look
was
at
better
you
than
using
what
all
it-
these fancy numbers. Okay, Andrew.
fancy numbers. The FIP of 3. So, I don't care what, again. And it's this Epdog. You give Epdog AJ Puck, you want Josh Hader? That's the cheap Josh Hader. That's the guy. If they want to go,
Especially if he gets the flow back.
he still has the flow, I think.
And a
Does he? I know he got
negative
rid of it.
war.
Hey,
Jeez
Nick, we don't
Louise.
care about war. We just care about throwing 100 with flow in the hair.
If you want to
And
talk
a
about
wipeout
good,
slide.
like low risk, high upside guy, I'd be all in on that.
So that's why
Why
Frank
not?
never.
I mean,
Maybe I'm not allowed to Frank to go ahead of me anymore. This guy's stealing all my shit.
better than Brad Hand. Okay.
I literally said every name that's available. So I
Where did
kinda
Brad
said-
Hand go?
I
Philly?
literally told everybody.
Brad Hand went to the Phillies.
Oh, that should be fun.
Um,
Good Familia back there.
yeah, Familia's there too. Phillies are loading up, folks. Watch out. Yeah, I what I want the Mets to do is to, at this point, with what they have right now, it would be to pair Shreve and Peterson together this year in that bullpen, because I'm 100% behind the fact that Peterson would be a fantastic bulk reliever.
Yeah.
It does piss me off that we did let Rich Hill go, as Hayden said, because that role would have probably been a great one for him to play.
He probably wanted to start. That was probably the issue.
He probably did want to start, but again, 6-man rotation, have him compete for that too.
Yeah, but if you have a 6-man rotation, then that's way less time than you're going to see with Jake and Max.
Again,
You're gonna
play
also
through
keep them
you play through
healthier,
Jake and Max. You ask them if they want to pitch every 5
I want
days.
bullets for later on. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I want these guys because
exactly.
we have a Scherzer, we got the dead arm. Like I want these guys as fresh
Right.
for the whole season as possible.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what
we're
I
we're already guaranteed to make the postseason because the Mets always do.
Yeah.
So
Like I do a
basically,
6-man rotation in the first half and then coming the second half. That way, Scherzer doesn't get fatigued, in case deGrom is having some type of issue or whatever. Same thing for Taijuan Walker. I mean, the innings pitch is going to be something big for him, McGill. So I'd start with that 6-man rotation. And then maybe once you get in the second half, come in July, August, and you're in that playoff hunt, maybe you could start to go on that 5-man rotation. Or otherwise.
Yeah, but Rich Hill would have been nice. I'm not gonna lie, it really would have been nice, but because he was cheap. What did he go for? 6 million, 5 million? Yeah. So also Lucchese's probably not coming out back anytime soon. So if they do trade for a lefty reliever, it would be nice, but the uncertainty still remains. Be careful. Because we've been here before. We've traded for a reliever before, especially a high tier reliever of that regard, in the same boat of Rogers and Hader. So just be careful. But the options aren't bad; they're just thin, and that's the thing. You got David Peterson, Josh Walker. We haven't even talked about. We haven't even mentioned yet. Josh Walker's a beast, monster. No. Alex Claudio, obviously. I like him. He's all right. Chasen Shreve, who I was very upset that they let go at the beginning. It was the only Brody guy I 100% liked from the beginning. But yeah, you need a lot of protection there. That's basically what you're looking at. Anything we can add on the Southpaws, the Southpaw district of Queens, that is very thin. No, all good. Okay, I'm just gonna let us go to a question here, I think, or we can also just bring up this topic, which was from Martino. So it's not true. Yeah, so the Mets apparently offered Michael Conforto a contract in $100 million range last spring, and they would have gone up to $120 million per sources. That's an underpay. So, yeah, what are the thoughts about this? I mean, Frank, what are the thoughts about this? Because I know you're going to be rational here.
The guy just continues to show me as the days go on that he is dumber and dumber and dumber. Don't forget, this is the same guy who at the end of the season was crying in right field. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to be a Met anymore. If you gave me $120 million, I'm staying,
Sign
baby.
the check.
I'm not going anywhere.
Cut the check,
they gave
baby.
him a qualifying offer. They gave him $120 million. What more do you want, Michael Conforto? Like, you didn't play well. You want the team to give you a crazy contract? That's not smart business if you had a year like he did. So, I mean, the way this guy doesn't put down a bunt to beat the shift, he doesn't take $120 million when it's offered to him. He's just not a smart person. I'm just getting the sense that Michael Conforto is just getting dumber by the day. So, you had your chance. You muffed it. Have fun, and I don't even know where at this point because no one wants him. He's a scrub.
This has nothing to do with Boris. Nothing to do with Boris.
Chris Bryant got a bag.
Conforto was the guy that said, I don't want this. He straight up said, I don't want this.
It's his choice. You can say yes. Be a big boy. Say yes.
When you're represented by Boris, is it really your choice in the matter? 100%.
Why wouldn't it be?
He pushes the guys to go to free agency.
And I could push back and say, no, I'm going to stay here. I love the Mets so much. I would cry if I left. If I love them that much, I might as well take
I would trust Boris too. He gets the money for these guys.
He didn't do it for Jackie Bradley.
I mean, I would have taken that, but whatever. Andrew, what's the thought here? Go ahead and troll, you dick.
No. I'm actually going to come to your side real quick because if Chris Bryant's contract was not signed before this show, I would have said he's an idiot. I would have said, sign me up. But Scott Boras just got Chris Bryant a 7-year, $183 million deal. No one in their right mind is giving Chris Bryant that. And that's the power of Scott Boras. Yes, Frank did bring up JBJ. But what does JBJ doesn't have? Has JBJ hit 2 home runs in a World Series game? I don't think so. Does he have a base hit in the All-Star game? No, he does not.
I think he has.
Was he the ALCS MVP when they won the World Series?
I said World Series. I didn't say ALCS. I don't care what ALCS is.
He's money in the playoffs. That's what I am saying.
Big boy game. I don't care what you did against the Astros. I want the best in the National League. In the Mets case, the American League. Did JBJ do that? No, he did not. He had a good ALCS stuff, not a World Series. My point is, if Boris is getting Chris Bryant, who's a bum, $183 million, he'll get Conforto more than $100 million. If Schwarber's going for $80 million, who can't play defense,
Conforto wasn't.
Yeah, I mean the Mets aren't going to give it to him. Don't worry, the Mets are not going to give him that. He's not coming back to the Mets. But there will be some idiot. If the Rockies are doing it, there will be somebody that says,
I think the
here's
Rockies
135. Boris will be all right, 140. He'll get him up to 150 without a doubt. If that Bryant contract wasn't signed, I would have said, yeah, he should have taken his deal easily. But the fact that Boris got that bum Chris Bryant 7 years and $183 million, yeah, Conforto's going to get 150 at minimum. If he's getting Bryant 180, yeah.
Listen, Devontae Adams is a Raider, so do we really care about this? I mean,
I know you're happy, but you're crying inside. So at least I wanted to at least help you out a little.
I have accepted that Conforto's gone. Okay, I have accepted that Conforto's gone. Do I want to bring him back? Yes. Am I going to rub it in your face when he has an incredible year next year? Yes.
I've already said he's going to hit 40.
Am I going to be flipping you all off? Yes. But that's in the future. Let's just calm down right now. Why are we getting so heated? Okay. Anyways, anything else to add on Conforto turning down the chance of a lifetime because apparently he's overrated and not good?
No, I think I don't know if it was the dumbest move on his part just because he was coming off of such a good season, so it looked like the momentum was going in his way. I still would have taken the money. He probably regrets it. He could still get a decent offer somewhere. I think the only shot he's coming back to the Mets is if we give him a 1-year deal, like a prove it deal, which as much of a Conforto troll I am, as much as a guy who, a 1-year deal with Conforto, I wouldn't hate. Just, he wouldn't be an everyday player. He wouldn't be your cleanup hitter. He'd be, kind of rotating in with some of the outfielders, which is kind of what he's supposed to be. He's a 4th outfielder at best in my mind. he's a scrub. So to that market, if you can pay him $5 million a year, I think that's a solid deal.
Okay. He would be the second best outfielder on this team, hands down. End of
No,
story.
I think he'd be the fifth. I think McNeil's better than him, even as an outfielder.
Second. Listen,
You know what, Dom,
McNeil
sixth.
is a taxi
Sixth best.
squad member.
Sixth best. JD can play some left. Seventh best.
JD. Yeah, JD's great.
Hey, when you're down a couple runs,
Yeah,
and
I
you need
can't-
runs now. call
I
JD Davis
can't.
to
Oh
the
yeah,
bench
from
now.
2019. Yeah, 2019 isn't over. Anyways,
The last time Conforto was good.
Last time Conforto was relevant, yeah.
No.
Or the bullshit 60
2020
game season.
2020.
2020 doesn't
Hello.
count. 2020 doesn't
2020
count.
doesn't count.
Hello.
Exactly.
Excuse me. How does it not count? Trevor Bauer got paid.
Yeah, how did that work out?
Like Conforto going to
Still
jail
got
too.
paid. He's still getting paid.
Is Conforto getting cut?
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm juggling being a happy Raider fan right now and roasting Conforto doubters. No shot. I just heard. Yeah, they're idiots. I know. It's happened.
Even
The
the
real-
hometown Seattle Mariners wouldn't take him. They're like, you know what? We'll take Jesse Winker. We're
The
good.
young guys, yeah.
The Rockies had choice to pay Bryant or Conforto. They chose Bryant. Phillies had a choice. Schwarber or Conforto. Took Schwarber. Mets had a choice. Didn't pick him.
So Canna, upgrade.
Listen. I'm trying not to get canceled.
This should be good.
Nope, can't think of it. Moving on. Anyways, whoops. The hell was that?
What was that?
Okay. The Mets have invited non-roster invites. And these are the guys that we're looking at here. We got Colin Holderman, we got Steven Nagosic, we got Eric Orrs, we got Felix Pena, Jose Rodriguez, Antonio Santos, Alex Claudio, who we said his name a few times, Josh Walker, Rob Zestrinsky, I hope I said that
What
right,
a name.
Francisco Alvarez, Nick Dini, Nick Mayer, both catchers, by the way, Hayden Senger, Brett Beatty, you got Daniel Palka, you got Matt Reynolds, Mets legend, you got Carlos Cortez, and you got Jake Mangum. Now, out of all of those guys, let's see who takes the casual route and who doesn't. Players to watch in spring training. I'm going to start with Elias. Who are you taking in spring training? Player to watch.
Yeah, so you said don't kind of take the casual, obvious route. So I'm going to go with kind of a bit of a smaller name, and that's Jake Mangum for the sheer fact that his athleticism, I think, could get him a potential spot on this roster if we need that pinch runner guy, utility man. Hopefully he could fill that role. I think he's going to make it? No, he's still pretty low in the minor leagues in my opinion, but he's an interesting player just from a sheer athletic perspective that I think could be interesting giving him a look in spring training.
Okay. Andrew, prospect man. Who is someone to watch?
It's not a prospect. Well, technically is a prospect. More of a minor leaguer. It's the two lefties. It's Claudio and it's Walker because they're battling for a bullpen spot. So you watch those two guys are fighting they're legit fighting for an actual spot. If they outpitch Peterson, jump Peterson is the thing. If Mike Montgomery has a bad start or who was the other lefty they brought in, they're battling for a legit spot on this team. So those are the two guys you got to watch. I mean, of course, what I'm watching, it's my guy. He's not coming up. Vientos obviously on the roster, and Alvarez, you're not seeing him this year, so they really don't matter except Vientos to an extent. But yeah, it's
with it. Jesus Christ,
that's not me. My hands are up here. But yeah.
Oh, who put the comment up?
I am talking to the group. Okay, I'm giving you a warning, or you're going to be in timeout.
Oh, that was me. I'll admit it.
Okay, whatever. But yeah, so it's Walker and it's Claudio because again they're battling for a big spot. I think Claudio is the dark horse to make that extra lefty spot or the number one lefty spot in this bullpen. But Walker, again, I like him. Me and Metsfan, I really like him. He's the opening day starter for Syracuse if he doesn't make the big leagues cups. More of a starter. But again, he could show some promise. He's starting the first game of spring training on the 18th, so you'll see him. Well, you won't see him because the game's not on TV. I don't think they're not home on the road. But again, him and Walker.
Way to advertise the game.
Claudio and Walker. Again, who knows? Stream East probably has it. But yeah, so Claudio and Walker are the two guys you have to look out because they're battling for a big league spot.
Frank, someone to watch, whether it's
Yeah.
a non-roster invite or
Yeah,
you know,
since Andrew took someone not on the list, I'm going to take someone not on the list too. And since my Mets brought my boy back, Janeshui Vargas.
yes,
I
sir.
mean, I love this guy every time I watch him take the field. He brings a lot of excitement to the game. He's an aggressive base run. We saw it in that Miami game. We went up the inside the park home run, knowing good and well he shouldn't have. I don't even think D Sarcina set him because his arm doesn't even work. So he probably just went right through that stop sign. But we talked about the Mets lost bias. They don't have anybody like that. They don't have someone who's just this guy that is going to go crazy on the bases, not care about any stop signs, and just kind of play. And that's what Vargas did. He puts bat on the ball. He can move around the outfield. He has speed. You don't teach speed. You either have it or you don't. Vargas has it. He's an exciting player. And he's a guy that, you know what, after the Mets got rid of him, he went to the Cubs and didn't do too well. But I think this is a guy that isn't only fighting for the Mets, but just fighting for his major league career and maybe trying to get another chance with another team where he might have some more time. I don't know. Does he get in the conversation with Khalil Lee? Because what Khalil Lee has is speed. Vargas has speed too. So maybe they can have a little bit of a battle. And we know Nick Plummer has the advantage bat-wise. But I don't see if you have a depth situation like the Mets did, that's how Vargas got here in the first place. They had so many outfielders get hurt. All of a sudden, the guy arrived. And who knows? With the Mets, anything is possible. Same thing could happen. So I think Vargas, I just want to see him play some more because we saw very little of him. He did all right. I want to see him play some more.
What did we say about the depth in outfield with Janesh, and then that got hurt, and then we had to bring in the Billy McKinneys and the
Cameron
Cameron
Mavens.
Mavens. So it never hurts to have enough outfield, especially with how shit it has been since Beltran was traded, or
But I was told he's bad, so why are you saying the last good one was Beltran?
Oh, where's suspicious music when you need it?
Yeah, facts. Where's the
my soundboard doesn't work anymore. So
very convenient.
no,
timing.
I don't have anything against Beltran. It's just, again, troll mechanism. It's fun. Is Mason Williams still here? No, he left. Okay,
he got
I was about to
DFA'd.
say, Hayden, someone to watch in spring training before we start off the games.
I'm going to go with a guy who was recently just drafted, and Calvin Ziegler. Obviously, I know he's only like 19, but, hey, there's only so many times that we really see in Major League Baseball where there's a lot of homegrown pitchers. Obviously, the Mets have been doing pretty well with that these last couple years. I get it. He's 19. I mean, he's literally fresh out of high school. But one thing we don't really see with a lot of high schoolers is just the dominance on two different pitches. He has a nice fastball, which the velocity for a 19-year-old, I mean, topping out at 96 is that's pretty good. He has the nice slider, which looks pretty solid. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye out on him in terms of the pitching staff. Obviously, he's not going to be called up, 2, 3, 4 years, but
Jacob deGrom is a decent one. I will give you that.
Buck said he's going to make the club.
He's all right. Yeah, he
I mean,
is
I'd
gonna
say
make the club.
Ziegler's already better than
I
anything
wouldn't,
that.
to be honest, I would not say that. If I was
Hmm.
Showalter, I'd be a little suspicious because, like, that would kind of wreck some of the guys' confidence. Like, that Jacob deGrom's going to make the club. I mean, he's already making decisions. Games haven't even started yet. I mean, that's a little selfish of him. I mean, we might actually have to fire him and get somebody else. Carlos Cortez. The development of this guy's power has been just insane in the past few years. And that's definitely something that this lineup lacks. Great plate discipline, super utility guy. He's 24 years old, coming off a breakout season in AAA. Beautiful swing, incredible spray hitter. Like to compare him to like a little bit of a Jose Altuve, a little bit of that. Similar approaches offensively. Very undersized types of guy. He does a little bit of everything. And the favorite thing about him will not be revealed today. Wait for the video. But with that, Carlos Cortez is definitely my ultimate sleeper to make this Mets roster this year. So yeah, watch out. He's I like him. I do like him. So other than that, anything else we can add on to spring training? We'll also take some more questions from the chat if you guys have any left. And but other than that, we'll start to wrap this one up. This might be our last shortened, a little bit below 2 hours stream, because baseball will officially be back and we'll have tons to talk about. But at the moment, this is going to be the last one. Anything we'd like to add on to spring training? Any other additional thoughts we can do? But other than that, would be on our way. Nope, nothing.
I mean, PCA looked terrible with the Cub jersey. He went 0 for 3, struck out 3 times, so he sucked today. But he caught a few fly balls, but I was, you know.
It's interesting that he's back already after that surgery.
He started for the Cubs today, but
Yeah, he is back. Ooh, yeah.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Dude, yo, he let a bum like Dom Smith hit 2 bombs off him. I mean, that's true.
Facts.
Next move.
Here's the thing
Next
with like exhibition games and like team on teams, I never knew who to root for. Because is it you don't want the pitcher to be good and the hitters to suck, or the other way around, or like?
Listen, the last time I've seen a scrimmage game, Michael Wacha had 4 perfect innings.
Exactly. They mean nothing.
Nothing, people.
Exactly.
Calm the fuck down.
No, I know. I'm just saying there's that mental battle in my head. It's like, who do I like more?
I mean,
Or I could just not root at all.
Well, I mean, I love when Cano got hit with the
pitched
pitch.
in
I
that
rooted for
scrimmage?
that.
Oh yeah.
yesterday.
Well, the fans
Pitched in that scrimmage
weren't there for
game
that,
yesterday.
right?
Yamo, McGill, Scherzer, Peterson, and someone
Was
else.
Peterson?
Or somebody
Yeah, because I
else.
saw Peterson.
Peterson
plunk
hit.
Cano.
He plunked
Cano.
Cano.
Attaboy PD.
Welcome back, Cano.
Yeah.
He's the only guy that got hit in that scrimmage.
Exactly. I mean, David Peterson doesn't have
so
command.
It
so
looked
are you shocked?
deliberate. Like, if you see from like the arm angle he threw it at, it looked deliberate. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I don't know if maybe
I appreciate him
Peterson got
trying.
more
This way, you could have done. You
fired.
could have got Cano hurt and signed Schwarber. I don't know if Schwarber was still available at that time. He might sign
You
already.
gotta tell him
Trevor's
to
still
No,
there.
I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
you gotta tell him to hit
Up
without the helmet on, and then you're golden.
and without that.
Money
no, you hit him in
Camel
the hand.
straight.
Yeah,
But
with
also,
the
I
knee
mean,
pad or
The fact that Fred Wilpon put his hand on Cano's face,
That
that
was
was the kiss.
the
We're
kiss
hurt.
to
We're
death.
not doing
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
It's over.
That
kiss
was
to
so
death.
uncomfortable. That was
See,
tough to look at.
Cohen's too nice of an owner as a Mets owner that he's like, oh, come on in.
Come on back.
Well, he still owns 5%.
He
Yeah,
does.
he's still, it's like, come on in 5%. No,
I mean, you didn't see
knock him
Jeff.
out.
I mean, you didn't see Jeff at least. The old man can come.
prison.
He's old, but
Don't say his name or he'll appear. It's like fucking Beetlejuice. I saw Thomas Sapucki be mentioned in the chat.
someone's called
Early-
him
I've
underrated.
seen him be benched as like a guy they're still looking at. I don't know about him
We've heard
anymore.
He was a
You want to talk
special
about
kind of
cooked?
bad.
You want to talk about cooked?
Cook.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
fuck you.
I mean,
yeah. He was a special kind of bad in that one
don't- I don't
appearance he
think
had
he's-
last year.
We
I
got
don't-
so many injuries.
I don't think Sapucki is a starter. I just don't
No.
think he like that tear on his arm. It's just a little too much. Like if he were to be like a 1 to 2 inning guy, like that would be kind of something. It'd be
He
nice.
was like a
if we had
top
him
10
regularly
prospect for us at the
healthy.
beginning of the year too.
Yeah, I talked about having him come up in the rotation this year, and he came up in that one bullpen outing, and I'm like, oh, I'm all set.
Well, he
The
kind of had
Atlanta game still gives me scars.
Yeah,
my
that was
God.
just not fair though.
what gives you scars?
That Atlanta game when Zapucki would give up 20 runs.
Oh,
and
that's
Acuna was just going.
That's
berserk.
nothing. Come on, remember 06, Frank?
Nah,
Remember the
right.
Edwin Diaz bullpen collapse against the Nationals?
that was the worst moment of the year. When they put a
2019.
huge lead in
It
the
was like-
extra innings
we
game.
had
That
so
was-
much
that was my least favorite
momentum.
moment of the year.
So much momentum up in that, and then it's just that happened. It's like, oh, season's over.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, 2019. Shall we recap?
I thought we were talking
got
about,
about
Oh,
That's
the
how
last
Nationals.
time we were semi-relevant.
I thought we were talking about this year when Diaz blew it. Juan Soto opposite
Oh, which
field.
time?
Since when did Diaz pitch in 2022?
Since 21.
You said this year. Excuse me.
Oh my gosh. Last year.
Yeah, I'm word playing your ass. All right. I guess we'll finish this off here. Elias, you can go first. Get your closing remark here because you came in here in the middle here, so you can go ahead.
Yep, glad I could make it by to the end of the show. Big up Banter Media, come check me out. Doing videos again, having a lot of fun with that. So come check the channel out. Appreciate, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Hope to see you there.
All right, Andrew Acevedo.
Yeah, again, if the Mets make any moves or any bigger moves, I'll probably make a stream video reaction. More looking like it's going to be more hockey stuff because the deadline is on Monday, so probably a bunch of videos probably be pumped out this weekend. If the Penguins make any trades or any big hockey trades, started to see some movement last night. And again, still working on that big top 100 prospect series will be coming out hopefully the next month.
All right, Frank, about sports.
Yeah, as they keep doing signings, then I'm going to keep making videos. That's the way it goes. So whether it's the Mets, the Yankees, other big moves, like when Correa signs, Trevor Story signs, maybe when Conforto eventually does his Long Island Ducks deal, I maybe go to a Ducks game and something like that. But other than that, that's
Do a
pretty
vlog.
much it. Can't wait for baseball to start, game recaps, game live streams, things like that. So it's going to be exciting.
Hayden.
What's going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden is the name. Yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. Did a live stream today. Did 2 different videos on Bassitt and Ottavino. So definitely feel free and check out. I will be up in Port St. Lucie tomorrow, as I only live an hour away from the Met Spring Training Center. So I will be there tomorrow for the whole day to watch the scrimmage. Of course, maybe walk around, watch some of the minor league guys. I'll definitely share anything interesting.
Ready for that? Can't wait to get some reactions from some of the guys on the screen. Maybe we'll get.
I might
some,
do a segment for that, reacting to it.
Yeah,
That might
you
actually
can
be a
get
good
some
idea.
a reaction video, and then I'll react to it on stream.
React to
Guys
my reaction, and then react to
and
the
then you'll react to
reaction.
my reaction to your reaction. Exactly. We're just gonna keep on.
And then I'll now
Fire
I'm done.
portal until we completely explode. But other than that, guys, make sure to go subscribe to all 6 of us. Even though TonyMetro is not here, make sure to go follow him on Twitter. Make sure to follow all of us on Twitter. Join our Discord. Follow Mets Weekly on Twitter. All of that stuff. Links are in the description. Devontae Adams is a Raider. We'll see you guys next week. Baseball is back. LFGM.